Every year, there's around 500,000 truck accidents in the United States, one-third of which involving injuries, some serious and even fatal. Today, we're going to be talking to one of the top-rated board-certified truck accident attorneys in the nation, discussing the 5 things that the insurance companies don't want you to know when you're involved with a truck accident case. Stay tuned for some great information ahead. Welcome to Legal Masterminds at Law Leaders. Today, joining me is Kevin Swenson of the Swenson and Shelley Law Firm with offices in Utah, Arizona, and Idaho. Kevin has been practicing personal injury law for over 34 years and is a top-rated board-certified truck accident lawyer. So Kevin, first off, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Great. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to learn about, which is what are the top 5 things that insurance companies don't tell you after a truck or commercial motor vehicle accident. So we've created a list of 5 of those with you, Kevin. And what I'd like to do today is to go through each one of those in a little bit more detail. So the first one is it's not just about the truck driver. Help us understand what that means exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a typical car crash case, you've got a driver against an injured person. In the commercial motor vehicle space, you've got a lot of other players in there. So you've got the driver, you've got the company that owns the truck, maybe a company that leases the truck, depending on what's wrong with it. And, if its brakes are out of alignment, maybe a company that does repair work on it. But then you've also got other claims, potentially, just for pulling a trailer. Or if you see, some of these trucks that you've got 2 trailers and you've got a dolly in between there, they may be insured and there may be a claim there as well. And then, depending on the nature of it and kind of how somebody was hired to haul a load, you may have a claim against a broker who picked a, bad truck driver to take the load, somebody that they should have known was better. And occasionally even against a shipper, they may take that role as the broker and try to find somebody. And if they pick the people with really bad records, they could be on the hook.
I see.
So it's a whole big ball of mess.
Well, it sounds like, compared to a regular automobile accident, there's really a lot of potential parties involved, right?
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people miss is they might be just pointing a finger at, hey, was it the driver or not? But to your point, it could be a lot of extraneous factors, including the driver, that could be leading into that. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
great. So the second thing we want to talk about is evidence and the importance of evidence in a case like a truck accident case compared to, for example, like a run-of-the-mill automobile accident case. So help us understand a little bit more in that detail as well.
Yeah, so if there's a truck crash, the trucking company is going to be on the scene of that very, very quickly. I mean, most of the time their drivers are taught, call dispatch before you call 911. So they'll call dispatch and say, hey, I got in a crash. And then all of these insurance companies have a quick strike team that's somebody that's going to get out there quickly, start interviewing witnesses, maybe taking things off of the truck. Everybody's heard of a black box. And, a truck will have that, but most trucks anymore also have dash cams, some that are, facing the road and some that are facing in. They have logbooks that are electronic, and they have, all the engine data. And then a lot of them will have separate telematics equipment on there so that the shipper can track exactly where their load is at any time. So there's just a ton of electronic data that if you don't get it right away, you may lose it. And, some of the older trucks, if you pump your brakes 3 times, you can kind of wipe out what was already on there. So they have the advantage being out there first. So you need to get out there quickly. You need to preserve the evidence. And now, most cars have so much evidence on them too, as far as black boxes, electronic equipment. And so you want to hang on to that too. So if you're telling the trucking company, hey, we need all of your electronic data, they're going to come back and say, okay, well, did you preserve yours? So you want to make sure you've preserved yours, that you've also preserved your telephone, so that if you want to do a download on the driver's cell phone, they're going to say, hey, if that's good for him, it's good for us too. We want to see yours. So you
Well,
need to be preserving stuff and you need to make sure that they preserve their stuff.
yeah, that's amazing. I don't think most people would realize that a truck actually, I think everybody understands what a black box is in the context of an airplane, but
Yeah.
they do exist on commercial vehicles as well.
Yeah. So I can look at a black box or the EDR and it tells you, what gear the driver's in, how fast the driver's going, if they're applying brakes or if they're applying throttle and at what percentage they're doing it. So you can see like, does he have this throttle all the way to the floor going as fast as he can? Is he braking hard or is he braking kind of soft? And so all of that information is in there for some period of time back from the time of the crash. So it's
Interesting.
very helpful.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important things you said was that they're instructed to literally call their dispatch before they're even calling 911, correct?
Some of them are, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Obviously, there's preventative reasons for that, right? So,
Yeah, they get
okay.
started quickly for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, great. The third thing about insurance companies that they don't tell you in a trucking accident cases is the rules around trucks. So maybe you could help
Sure.
us understand a little bit better. What are those rules and why are they different?
Yeah, an insurance company wants you to think, well, these guys are just driving just like you are. So they're required to follow the same rules that any car driver follows. But sitting right here on my desk, this is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulation. You can see the size of that
Wow.
book. So this is what governs commercial motor vehicles and has a lot more information about, what they should do and what they need to do to be safe on the roads. And so, I had an example. There's a regulation that if it's raining and you're losing or have the ability to lose traction on a road, that you need to reduce your speed. And you're supposed to reduce your speed by about a third. But what'll happen is you'll talk to an insurance company and they say, hey, we've got this on dash cam, speed limit was 65 and we're going 65. So we're within the limits. It's not our fault. They came into us. And what they don't tell you is, well, they're supposed to be slowing down, by over 20 miles an hour. So the fact that they can drive 65 when it's nice and dry, they shouldn't be doing that when the roads are wet and there's, traction problems on the road.
Yeah. And
So
these rules you had mentioned before, these are federal laws, correct? Federal rules.
correct.
Does
And
that
then every
change?
state has almost, the same ones. They've adopted most of them. Every state's a little bit different. If you're in Oregon, they have a few things different for logging trucks because logging's a big industry there. Idaho has different things for farm trucks. So they're a little bit different, but if you're doing interstate transportation, these federal rules apply.
Understood. Okay, excellent. Very good. The fourth thing is what a claim might be worth and what the insurance company might tell you that the claim is worth. Why is that important to understand and what are the nuances around that?
Well, yeah, they insurance companies want you to settle quick
Hmm.
and try to get it done cheap. And so they would prefer that you do that before you even know what all the injuries are and what the extent of those are. Hey, don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and pay your medical bills. And, just to get this done, we'll throw you $5,000. That has nothing to do with what the value of the case is. And you're not going to know the value of the case until you know what your injuries are.
Hmm.
So a lot of these kind of offers are made when people are still in the hospital or just getting out. They still need follow-up. They still need to figure out what's going on. So they will try to get quick settlements if they can just to close a file and get rid of it.
Nice. And then the other part of that too is the limits on the claims of the insurance policies of what they carry compared to, for example, a regular automotive coverage. Help people understand the differences with that as well.
Yeah, so the minimum limits in a lot of states are 25,000. So, if you hit somebody else and you have insurance, it may only pay $25,000.
Mhm.
Um, in a trucking case, the minimum limit is 750,000 uh, if you're hauling non-hazardous cargo and such. But if you've got hazardous cargo, you're pulling gasoline, you've got a $5 million minimum limit.
Wow.
And those were set so long ago. There are a lot of efforts to try to get those raised, but that's quite a fight with Congress right now.
Sure, understood. But
Yeah.
obviously that means that the claims can be much higher on a significant injury case, correct? Because of the insurance coverage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because I mean, you just look at the difference. If somebody hits you in a 4,000 pound car compared to an 80,000 pound truck, I mean, just
Hey,
the difference there is huge.
sure,
And so
understood.
the likelihood of severe injuries goes up dramatically.
Right. Well, and I think that segues into the fifth area that the insurance companies don't want you to know, which is the skill of the lawyer and how they can really help you navigate this. I think you've touched on a number of those already, but maybe you could really help us understand what is it that you do, especially as a board certified truck accident lawyer, that can help people navigate this and ultimately get the best results for them.
Yeah, and you're right. It does kind of cover some of the things we've already covered. I mean, as soon as we get a call, we're getting a team out to the site as well to look at it, to figure out where the witnesses are, figure out where the trucks are, what telematics they have on it. We're working with the other side to make sure that they preserve all of that equipment, that they're not taking those dash cams off and hiding them. I've been out to inspections where you'll go out and you see this round spot on their windshield, and it's clear that they had a suction cup there and something, but it's gone now. And you ask them, and they took the camera down or they moved it. So you want to get there as quick as you can. You want to make sure that the evidence is being protected for both sides. Find out who witnesses are, start talking to them, and figure out ultimately, all of the different players that are involved with it. What insurance is in play. Because you may have a truck, and we just had this case where they did only have $1 million of insurance, and the driver just didn't stop when there was another crash in front of him, went through and hit 18 different people and six different
Wow.
cars. You start looking at that, and $1 million doesn't go very far. So
Right.
in that case, we were looking at also the shipper and the broker and resolve the claims with them. So there are a lot of different things you need to do to kind of tie it all up, but the real focus is to make sure that the client, the person who's hit by that truck, is getting taken care of and is getting
Sure.
compensated for what's going on. So you need to find all the insurances, and then you need to find out what the value of the claim is and then go get that for them.
Yep. Well, this sounds a lot more complicated than the run-of-the-mill auto accident or car accident people deal with. So
It
obviously
is.
there's a lot
And
of skill.
unfortunately, there are a lot of attorneys who handle these cases as just a big car crash case.
Right.
And it's not good for the clients. It's not good for, promoting safety and holding people accountable. So it's something that, I'm really happy to be board certified. It was a big process to get there, but I think it's really important that people deal with people who understand what's really going on in the trucking industry and how all of it fits together.
Right. Well, and I also know in previous conversations, a lot of attorneys send their cases to you because of that skill and expertise that you have around these types of cases that they otherwise wouldn't have, correct?
Yeah, we do get a significant number of our cases from other attorneys, and we always appreciate that because we can go get the value for them that they need.
Yep, absolutely. Great.
So.
Well, we covered the 5 different areas that the insurance companies don't want you to know about, and I think you've done a really good job of covering them. What would you finally leave with anybody that has dealing with a truck or commercial accident case? What else do they need to know that you think would be helpful at this point?
Yeah, I guess one thing that ties into everything we've talked about is to just realize that the insurance company has a full team fighting against you.
Yep.
And you need to, go in and match that with people who are qualified to take those claims on, the hidden witness, the hidden dash cam, figure those things out and make sure that you're properly represented from these crashes because they are
Excellent.
significant crashes.
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. So, Kevin, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And if somebody wants to reach you, what's the best way for them to connect with you or your firm?
You can always reach us through our website. There's live chat on there. You can reach out there. You can also just give us a call. It's 866-3 trucks is the phone number. And so
Okay.
reach out there and we're happy to talk to anybody and walk them through the process.
Very good. Kevin, thank you. I appreciate it. And obviously, if any of these cases come through in Utah or Idaho or Arizona, feel free to reach out to Kevin. If you want to find other additional top-rated board-certified truck accident lawyers near you, you can also find them. They're listed on our Law Leaders membership directory at lawleaders.com, or you can speak to a top-rated member lawyer today for free by calling 1-800-LAW-LEADERS. And if you like this video or like this channel, please click on the like button below, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.